Hey everyone, so welcome to Data Privacy Decoded. I am your host Nikhil, and let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually read terms and condition page before clicking accept of any website? Most of us don't, and we scroll, find, and tap yes in under a second because we just want the app to work. But where is the thing? In but here is the thing in 2025 that one click isn't harmless anymore. That click can decide how you phrase this use to train AI, how your voice is cloned, or how long your personal data lives on server you will never see. So today's episode asks a very simple but comfortable question. That is, why does a consent matter more than ever before? And joining me is Pulkit Yadav, someone who has been deep in trenches of digital rights, privacy law, and data ethics for years. Pulkit, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Nikhil. And honestly, I'm really excited to be here and to share my opinions with you. And honestly, I think that we have reached a turning point where we used to say that data is the new oil. But today, I believe that consent is the new currency. And without it, the data becomes toxic, legally, ethically, and reputationally.
Okay, that's a very strong statement to start with. So before we go deeper, let's set out some context in 2025. We are dealing with India's DPDP rules, AI tools everywhere, biometric systems, and apps that know us better than our families. And at the same time, users are exhausted. So, hello, Mr. Pulkit.
Exactly, Nikhil. And consent fatigue. It's a very important term. I think people see cookies, banners, and privacy pop-ups, and consent becomes mechanical, not meaningful by ignoring them. And that's what is dangerous for everyone of us.
Okay. Yes, yes. So, Pulkit, let's talk tech in 2025. As to we don't have just a physical body, we have a digital body as well, like our voice, our face, fingerprints, typing speed, and even how we move a mouse. So, where does consent fit into this?
Nikhil, I think that's the right framing for your question, allowing emails or location access. But today, consent means allowing models to learn who you are. So basically, AI systems do not just store data, they interpret it, they replicate it, and sometimes they even predict your behavior.
So when companies say that we use public data, what does that actually mean?
This means that that's the heart of AI training crisis, Nikhil. Companies argue that public posts equal public post consent, but the logic is clearly flawed. Just because something is visible doesn't mean it's reusable forever, especially for commercial AI training.
So, Pulkit, we have seen many backlashes recently, like platforms using your photos to train generative AI. So, what's your take into this?
Yeah, I think that's where we move from the data privacy to identity privacy. It's not mere in term. Let me explain by giving an example. A photo isn't just a data. It's it's a you. It's completely yourself. For example, your likeness, your expression, your identity, and once an AI model learns that, you cannot just delete it because it
Yeah,
thing out of.
and which brings us to and what does that data outlives the company? What about when the data outlives the company? What we have to do in that sense?
Called as zombie data. So you give consent to company A, and the company A gets acquired by some other company, or for example, let's say it shuts down, or sell its database to another company. So suddenly your consent is walking around without any context. So most users do not even know that this is happening without their consent at all.
And which brings us to the opt-in versus opt-out consent mechanism, right?
Exactly. So opt-out assumes consent by default, and opt-in requires explicit informed agreement. So in 2025, anything short of opt-in is essentially consent thereafter.
Okay, so Pulkit, I want to shift gears a bit and talk about the psychology behind the consent. Because on the paper, it looks like we always have a choice in the DPDP Act itself as well. But in real life, it doesn't feel that way. Like take workplaces for example. If your office introduces a new an HR tool for monitoring software and says, please accept terms. So how that clicking no isn't really an option for you. Like if you don't consent, you risk being seen as an uncooperative or worse, losing your job. So let me ask you directly: is that a real consent?
Honestly, very shortly, no, that's not a consent. That's merely an compliance under pressure to say no without any consequences. So mostly in workplaces, what happens that in workplaces like schools, government services, or even hospitals, there is a massive power imbalance. So one side holds your income, education, or access to essential services. When consent becomes requirement for survival, it being stopped being voluntary. So there is no balance.
Okay, so even though legally it may look like clean checkbox ticked, policy accepted, the spirit of consent is missing, right?
Exactly. You are very correct in saying that. So consent is supposed to be freely given, Nikhil, and but if saying no means losing your livelihood or falling behind at work when the choice is already rigged. So we see this in employee monitoring tools that track keystrokes, screenshots, or locations. So employees technically agree, but the alternative is unemployment. That's not a statement, that's the reality. So
Okay,
that's not a fair negotiation at all.
okay, and this isn't limited to offices, right? We see this in education, fintech, and even government portals as well.
Absolutely. I think many students must have experienced it that they are asked to install, and citizens are forced to share biometrics to access welfare schemes. So these schemes rely on forced consent disguised as convenience. You are not giving your consent freely; you are merely giving your consent to access the convenience.
And that's a powerful phrase, like forced consent disguised as convenience. So and now beyond power imbalance, there is another layer here, like design. Let's talk about dark patterns. Okay. So what's your thought about all those dark patterns you see?
Yes, dark patterns are one of the most under-discussed but dangerous aspects of consent today. These are unintentional UI or UX design choices meant to manipulate user behavior. I think you must have seen them everywhere, like big or bright green accept all buttons that scream at you while accessing any website or any interface of any particular website, while the reject button is hidden, or it is grayed out or buried under five extra clicks, or it is
Yeah,
only shown as a side
yeah.
button just a corner. So that's what the play is being outplayed everywhere.
Okay, so and sometimes the reject all option isn't even visible unless you scroll or even uh, open an advanced setting in your app, right?
Exactly. And that's not an accident. Basically, designers test these layout extensively. They do such designs intentionally. They know that humans prefer the path of least resistance. Humans do not want any problems while accessing any website. So when opting out is harder, slower, or confusing, most people just give up and click accept the terms and conditions.
Yeah, so the interface itself is steering the design, right?
Yeah. We are very right. So, and this is what we call choice architecture. This term is not new. Some so almost everybody has discussed it somewhere. So you technically have a choice, but the environment is engineered in such a way that you are pushed in only in one direction. And another trick is guild based language. Like, for example, that button say yes, personalize my experience, versus and another button say no, I hate relevant content. It frames privacy as irrational or antisocial. The options are framed in such a way that you cannot select the opt out option. You are basically you are being drived in to select or accept the terms and conditions which is being provided by the interface.
Yeah, and that's very subtle, like very easy, but once you notice it, and then you see it everywhere, every app, every platform, you see it, right?
Exactly. And the danger is that users believe they chose freely, but in reality, they were nudged, rushed, emotionally manipulated, and nothing else.
Yeah, and which brings us to what you often call the illusion of choice. Can you shed the light upon what the illusion of choice is, Pulkit?
Yeah, that's a good term to discuss over here. So illusion of choice is when platforms offer option that looks meaningful but all lead to the same outcome. So, for example, big tech companies build walled gardens. In that, you can either accept extensive tracking or lose access to messaging, payments, professional networks, or even social visibility. The cost of refusing consent becomes social isolation.
Social isolation. So Pulkit, it's not about apps anymore. It's about the participation in the society as to how you participate in this particular thing.
Exactly. So again, consent today is tied to digital citizenship. If you do not agree, you are locked out of the work tools, financial systems, or social platforms. That's why this consent is extracted through power, design, manipulation, or fear or exclusion. It stops protecting users and start protecting corporations.
Yeah, and that's a very scary place to be. Like when these people start protecting the corporations, because it means that consent exists in form, but not in substance.
Very well said, Nikhil. Very well said. And adding to that, unless laws, designers, or companies start respecting meaningful consent, we are just pretending that we are under control when they are not.
Right. That's very clearly said by you, Mr. Pulkit. Now let's shift to solutions as to India DPDP rules, which has been notified last month. These are a very big step. So, how is the law responding toward this consent? I would like to hear your views on it.
For the very first time, the consent is being treated as a living permission, and that's a big step towards the by the legislators. And it's not an one-time checkbox, but and another major innovation is the consent manager model.
Okay, so can you explain that in simple sense as to for our viewers who are watching, like what is a consent manager model?
Love to explain this. Let think of it like a password manager. powerful measure, but for consent, so instead of giving permissions everywhere.
Okay. Yeah. And what are the enforcement rules? Like, what are the enforcement things that we see in the DPDP rules?
Okay, so 2025 is about enforcement, like fines, audits, accountability. So it's good to hear that regulators are signaling that privacy violations are no longer cost of business.
Yeah, and can you shed some light as to what is the withdrawal of consent, as to can we withdraw the consent or not?
Really change over the years, and this basically means that you should be able to say no at any moment, and systems must respect it immediately. Without your consent, they cannot access anything from you out.
Okay, so Pulkit, I mean, for viewers, I'm feeling very overwhelmed. Like, what can they do today? So, can you shed some light as to now we have been to the close of this particular session? Can you tell our viewers as to what are the simple things that they should do?
So I think viewers have watched our purposeful conversation. So summarizingly, in very short, I would suggest that audit your sign-ins. First of all, audit your sign-in. Check Google or Apple account permissions and remove apps you no longer use. And secondly, choose privacy first tools like browsers and search engines do not track by default, reduce exposure. And thirdly, and more importantly, use AI to fight AI. That's not mere and state. And summarize policies before accepting them. That's the most important thing we need to do, right?
Yeah, I think I'll start doing like fighting AI with AI. Okay, so and thank you, Pulkit. That was a very, very empowering and inspiring session. And thank you for breaking this down. And see, consent for our viewers, I would like to tell you that consent isn't just a checkbox right now. It's how we protect our future selves as well. So if you found this episode helpful, please subscribe and share with someone who always clicks accept without reading. And see you in the next Data Privacy Decoded session. And further than hats off. Well,
thank you very